I was interested in your security operations there, Julio and Gallo.
Okay, we're ready.
Gallo
We're recording right now.
wineries.
Wineries, yeah.
That's good. Nice job.
You can do any time we're recording.
Okay, my name is Colonel Ed Lowe. I work at the Peacekeeping Institute here at Carlisle, and John, I want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to join us today and just give us some of your perspectives on when you served together in Vietnam. Any translation needed, or is it good? Okay, and we just introduce yourselves, just some some background, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Oh, well, my name is Frank
Culture,
Clark,
yeah.
and I'm from California, one of 12 children, and our family were itinerant fruit pickers, and moving through California, we broke down in the Central Valley about 70 years ago, and so we ended up growing up there, going to school there, and always wanted to be a police officer. And when I was 21, I became a police officer. I don't know how far you want to go into that, but I became a police officer, and I was a police officer in Modesto, California for 13 years.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. My family
Introduce yourself, Dad.
nói về
Your background, Dad. Câu hỏi.
câu hỏi hả? Câu ở đâu đó? Câu ở đâu?
Dạ.
Yeah. My name is Charles Nguyen Cuong. I was born in Vietnam, at Saigon, from Mr. Roshin Nguyen Cuong, and from Marie La Couture. Marie La Couture, my mother. We are Catholic family, and my grandfather was a governor of province, the biggest province at Saigon, Solon, where have a Chinese community. Yeah. My grandfather, from my mother, he was a general prosecutor, French general prosecutor. Yeah, because in this time, Vietnam included in the Indochina. Indochina comprised Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia under French rule. Yeah, and when I was 20 years old, I attended French college, and in order to prepare my license in law. But World War II changed my plan, because I was mobilized and in the French army, and after that, because at this time the Japanese invaded Indochina under French rule, and I have to fight the Japanese in the French army. I was captured, and I become war prisoner. After 6 months, and I remember 1945, the Japanese capitulate to Allied forces, and I was released. Then, but the army don't want to release me. French army don't want to release me. I have to to work in the security, federal security, like FBI here. There's federal security, French federal security control Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia about intelligence, about criminal, about everything like the FBI here. Yeah.
What, after you joined, after the French left Vietnam, you became, you were transferred to the police. What were some of the challenges that you experienced going into this job as a police officer?
Bà không nghe rõ con.
Can you
What were some of the challenges, his initial challenges as a police officer after he joined, after he joined the police, after he was transferred to the police when the French left?
okay. Những cái thử thách nào sau khi bà trở qua làm việc cho chính phủ Việt Nam?
When the French left Vietnam after Vietnam got independence, the Vietnamese government asked my transfer to the Vietnamese government, and I will transfer. Into Vietnamese government. I was promoted police chief for many provinces. With my experience into French police, I will quickly promoted to the high-ranking police Vietnam. Yeah.
Những
Okay.
cái thử thách nào khi ba làm việc?
Hả?
Những cái thử thách nào khi anh làm việc với chính phủ Việt Nam? Những thử thách nào?
I'm working for the government Vietnamese. I will assigned I would assigned to be the chief department politics targeting the communist activity. Yeah, and so I one time police special branch chief in Region 3. Region 3 comprising about 12 province around Saigon. Yeah.
Những cái thử thách nào?
Thử thách là
Người ta
sao?
hỏi cái thử thách nào, cái chuyện gì khó khăn nhất để làm cái công việc đó? Anh có những cái công tác nào khó khăn?
The challenge for me at this time is to detect the communist organization, because at this time they are many plastic, many and also they, I think you know they explode, they have fair explosion in Spring Saigon, Spring many Spring building, American building, everything. Yeah, but I got a success. I can detect and can arrest the whole organization. Yeah, plastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Clark, 11 years in Modesto, where you were a police officer prior to. I mean, how did that experience help prepare you as an advisor in Vietnam?
Well, I had no intention of ever being an advisor in
That was
Vietnam.
my next question.
But
How did you get-
I always had a guilty conscience that I had never been in the service. And while I admired military very much, it bothered me I'd never been in the service. And this was an opportunity to serve my country in Vietnam. And I was very pro the Vietnam War, very supportive of it. So being a police officer and having worked up from a patrolman to patrol division commander, I had a great deal of experience, and I also had a teaching credential, and I taught at the local junior college. So I think I had the right attitude in going to Vietnam, and I think through my teaching and police experience, I'd been to narcotics school, FBI schools, and very well prepared to pass that on through my counterpart to the Vietnamese police.
Were there some aspects of that pre-deployment training that you wish you would have had going in, looking back?
Well, certainly. I wish there had been more cultural training, which was very devoid of that. You had some, but not near enough. And there should have been more language training so that you were able to communicate better and not rely totally on an interpreter to tell you what was said or not said.
You know, in today's deployments in Afghanistan, Iraq, cultural awareness, cultural understanding is a big thing, as you know. What aspects of cultural training specifically do you think would have helped benefited your experience there?
Well, you really had two factions in Vietnam, as I saw it. You had a lot of people involved in Christianity and Catholics that tended to be higher up in the government than a lot of the people that were, I guess, mostly were Buddhist, and a couple of other religions that existed in Vietnam at that time. And after 40 years, I don't recollect them, but there was the Cao Da and a couple of other religions. So you didn't always understand that culture. But I wished I'd have known more, and I learned that after 3 years. What I felt was a fear on the Vietnamese people, and I'm talking about, I spent as much time as I could living out in the culture. I mean, I lived out there, I ate out there, I knew the people much better than most of the advisors, and most of them had the sense of what is in this for the Americans. You know, we've had the Chinese, we've had the British, we've had the French, we've had the Japanese, and now here are the Americans. Why would they sacrifice 55,000 lives and billions of dollars to help us? You know, no one else has ever helped us. We've always been subjugated by every country, and after all, the Americans let the French come back in here. So they were very worrisome, I thought, about that. And it was hard to explain to them because their culture, I don't think, allowed them to understand the domino theory and the communists taking over Southeast Asia and all that. Okay. They were concerned about Vietnam.
And sir, as a follow-up to that, did you sort of have a sense of that also in terms of culture and our presence there in the...
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
My dad is much older.
Yeah.
And we were kind of expected to go by.
Cũng được không? Cũng được, để ông hỏi được không sao?
You can ask the questions.
Yeah.
I'll try his best, but
để
he's
ông
going
hỏi.
to give you the best answers
Okay.
based on the recollection he's already done.
Understood. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
He's willing to field additional questions.
Okay, so his impression of the Americans before working with an advisor.
Could you ask that one more time?
What was your impression of Americans before working with an advisor?
Dạ, và mở cái giấy của bà ra, ông hỏi là
Trước khi ba làm việc với ông Lạc với người Mỹ thì ba có những cảm tưởng gì đối với người Mỹ?
I don't have a fixed opinion, but because your success into World War II, I think I admire your, and I hope to have an American advisor, but before I didn't have my own opinion. Yeah.
I guess, Mr. Clark, going back as you came into Vietnam, what were your expectations as an advisor when you set foot?
Well, I had expected to be able to put my feet on the ground and you know, really get involved in upgrading the Vietnamese police. But to my surprise, the Vietnamese police, for what they were doing, were very efficient, and they had particularly good leadership, the police. Because in Washington, people referred to the Vietnamese police as white mice, because they were dressed in white and had gray pants, and they were literally looked on with a little bit of disdain. They were not highly respected. The Americans had a misconception of the Vietnamese, including the police. What they saw as gentleness and friendliness and willingness to get along, they identified that as complacency, weakness, and not a strong group of people, which was entirely wrong. You know, you had a very resilient, very wonderful, loving, caring people, and I don't think we identified with that. Again, a big